I am Brogen and you're watching One to Watch. First things first, yes, I know I have my hair tied up, and yes, I know it looks really weird, but such is life. You move on from it. Second of all, I know that this copy of the Metro Herald has been sitting here on my bookcase for pretty much every video that I've filmed in this room. And to Dan Anderson from Click, I'm sorry, that's where it lives. I'm sorry if it irritates you. All of that aside, however, this week's One to Watch is Guardians of the Galaxy. I was really excited about Guardians of the Galaxy. It's one of the films I've been looking forward to most for this year. The really, really good news is, and the news that I'm really happy to report is, it lives up to the hype. It's really, really, really great. For anyone who's not been paying attention, the story is of Peter Quill, also known as Star-Lord, played by Pratt, who is this sort of outer space scavenger, junker sort of person who was kidnapped from Earth as a kid and has had to make a life for himself living in outer space. When Quill comes into possession of this mysterious orb, he finds himself at the centre of a galaxy-wide manhunt. He has law enforcement after him, he has bounty hunters after him, he has people with their own personal agendas after him, and he has to form this really sort of uneasy alliance with Rocket Raccoon and Groot, who are bounty hunters, played by Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel respectively. Gamora, who has her own agenda, played by Zoe Saldana, and Drax the Destroyer, played by Dave Bautista, who also has his own agenda in this whole epic, sprawling space story. Anyone who's watched Parks and Recreation will know that Chris Pratt is a man with great comedic instincts, and he uses them to full effect here in Guardians of the Galaxy. He manages to make Quill this really funny, sort of a jerk who is really caught up in his own myth, and throughout the course of the film has to learn how to live up to the myth and the legend that he has built up in his own mind. This is a guy who has created his own nickname of Star-Lord, and he suddenly has to learn how to become Star-Lord and behave like a Star-Lord would. Yes, the origin story is different than in the comic books, but you just have to go with it. I'm afraid it's a reimagining of the story. Zoe Saldana plays another sort of warrior princess type. She kicks a lot of ass. It's nothing we haven't seen from her before. Dave Bautista brings funny to the fight as Drax the Destroyer, who is an incredibly literal character and doesn't get metaphor, which leads to a lot of comedy throughout the film. Bradley Cooper's voice work as Rocket the Raccoon is fantastic, and he and Groot, played by Vin Diesel, make up this really sort of adorable badass fighting team. Rocket Raccoon covers all of his insecurity and vulnerability with humour, yet he has made friends with this giant, gentle tree creature, so it shows that he has some sort of goodness underneath all of the fur and guns and fighting talk. The rest of the cast: Lee Pace plays Ronan the Accuser, and he does a lot of shouting. Karen Gillan plays Nebula. She sort of looks like a robotic zombie corpse bride, in a way, without any hair. She doesn't actually have a lot to do, so for all the people who are really excited about Amy Pond being in a Marvel movie, you may sit down again. Yeah, she's painted sort of TARDIS colour. She's certainly not Amy Pond here. Also in there you've got John C. Reilly, Peter Serafinowicz, and Glenn Close, who round out the cast as well. The story, due to the fact that this is creating a whole new Marvel universe, yes, it takes place in the same universe as the Avengers, we know this, but the fact that it's creating a whole new Marvel storyline and universe, it's hugely complicated. Every couple of minutes there's a new character, there's a new threat, there's a new peril. Some of the characters we know, like the Collector, who showed up in one of the post-credit stings for the Avengers movies, but most of them are completely new characters, and it does leave the audience sometimes going, wait, who is that? And why are they doing that? And why are they involved? And wait, what? That said, though, the film is so well written, tightly paced, and surprisingly funny that you just go with it. You just accept it and just, okay, we'll find out who these people are as the film goes on. Yes, the film also suffers from Marvelitis in that it ends with one huge big set piece which solves all the problems, but it's a great set piece, so I'm not going to hold that against the film. James Gunn has created a world filled with conflicts, double crosses, and a lot of humour. The chemistry between the cast is brilliant, and it leads, like I say, to some really, really great comedic moments, but it is a film that is surprisingly touching as well. I was crying within the first sort of 5 minutes, and I was crying at the last 5 minutes as well. Out of 10, I'd give Guardians of the Galaxy 10. A Star-Lord is born in Chris Pratt. We're going to be seeing a lot more of him, and not just in Jurassic World next year. Vin Diesel, I don't think I've ever said this before. Vin Diesel plays the most adorable character that we will possibly see on screen this year. Groot is sensitive, sweet, and a complete badass, and he is a joy to watch on the screen. Yes, there are issues with the film. A lot of time is given to exposition. We don't know who everybody is, and oh look, another set piece. But put all these things together, and Guardians of the Galaxy is really, really a great, fun film. Until next week, your one to watch is Guardians of the Galaxy. I've been Brogen Hayes, and this has been One to Watch.